Morning all, how we doing? All good? Morning Michael, Andy. Looks like the pre-FOMC games have started on UJ already. Possible induce shorts and then pump on a rate hike, stop hunt, then drop. Yeah, something's going on. Finally, we got some movement on this, but yeah, not sure if this is the start of the move. I've just taken a couple of shorts on US dollar yen this morning. I've got one covered with a stop. This movement came off the back of the two news items we had this morning. Russian Defense Ministry forces have taken control of Kherson, rather. And they've turned off the Yamal Europe gas pipeline. So this is what's caused that spike. Whether or not that move is going to continue, I don't know. But I've basically I got in one when I saw it happening. I added as we got down to this sort of support area, basically. I've just covered the top one just in case this is going to retrace. I don't want all this risk on if this is going to be a fake move this morning. So I'll take one off and then just see if we can ride this one. But it's a fair bit of movement. So if it retraces that and then puts in a reversal, be very nice. The DAX as well, I got two positions on that. That dropped on the news, obviously being Euro. So again, I think I'm over leveraged on this one if this is going to be a fake move. But I saw this go this morning just after the open. So the exchange opened there. The exchange basically, as soon as it opened, it dropped. Then I saw this massive candle go in. So I got into a position and then put a sell stop, which took me into a second. And I'm basically looking for them to come and do this gap fill. So I've got one TP here on the gap fill from yesterday. And I've got one at the lows of Friday. Or Friday's sort of close, really. So again, this is either going to work or it's not. But obviously for the Euro and for the DAX, if that pipeline shut off is correct, that's not going to be good for the Euro. So we could have quite a nice drop on the DAX this morning at the open. So we'll see. Got 5 minutes and we'll find out. So yeah, pretty good moves. I know I said I wouldn't. I also took an oil buy stop. Morning, Neo. Only because that oil, the gas pipeline news, I think that might push oil today. So it either will or it won't. If it does, I'm not expecting, just a normal market move. I'm placing this here, hoping to catch a spike and then a spike gap fill. If it doesn't happen, it's not going to affect me. But if it does happen, that'll be a very profitable trade. Be a couple of K on that one. So that's just off the back of the news. I'm just waiting and anticipating a new spike, basically. So we'll see what happens this morning. We've got news today, PPI this afternoon for the US dollar at 12.30, just an hour ahead of the market open. We've got the economic sentiment for the Euro this morning. Doesn't tend to do anything, but it could do. You never know. So just keep your eyes peeled on your Euro pairs at 10 o'clock. That might do something. I had shorts on the Aussie dollar overnight as well, on Aussie US. Looking for a drop on the Aussie. Didn't get it, basically. So I scaled out of those at break even this morning. It's those ones there. So I had a couple of little Aussie dollar trades on. They went into profit. They did go into profit, basically, but I was looking for a decent, Aussie dollar drop. Didn't get it, basically. It just went into an accumulation. So I stopped those out at break even. Morning, Stevie. So yeah, we'll see what happens this morning. Nice rejection on the DAX at the 20-50. Could get back up to here. If we do, fine. If not, hopefully we'll just get that drop on the open. Morning, Franco. This morning we've got no ADRs. We've got a couple of weekly hits on the Euro Odd and the Euro CAD already. Obviously, we are only on Tuesday. So Euro Odd, big, strong push up. Looks like it's starting to reject this morning. And Euro CAD, again, big, strong push up. That'll be... It's a bit of a weird move this morning out there, isn't it? So Euros, we've still got a bit of positive movement on these Euros. They are still pushing, but I don't think it's going to be particularly good for the Euro moving forward. So I think they're all good setups short at the moment. But we'll see what happens. So there's nothing on the ADR front really today at the moment so far. 4 hours, US dollar yen. I got stopped out of that US dollar yen yesterday. Obviously, this morning it's coming down. Huge extension on 4 hour. We are completely off the scale now. Obviously, it's come down a bit now. But yeah, this is due a pullback at least. So the thing you got to be careful of with these initial moves when they start is the fake out, basically. So they'll induce everybody short, and then they'll come up and stop you out, and then they'll take it short. So if the first one fails, you get stopped out in the first one, wait for the market structure shift on the second time, and you probably get it. But we'll see. We've got FOMC tomorrow. And we've also got PPI this afternoon. So there's plenty of news catalysts. We've also got core retail sales tomorrow afternoon as well. So there's loads and loads of news on the US dollar. This thing could be very volatile up and down over the next 24 hours. So we'll see what happens. Right, so just about to open. 1 minute. We are open. So this is where basically that move started. So I'm looking for, if we do get up into that area, good signs of rejection out of that area. So a quick look at what the other indices are up to. Bit whipsawy this morning. Good volatility coming in though. So all the indices basically obviously moved off that news. So we're all basically playing pullback at the minute. So one way or the other. Seems the drop in demand in oil from China because of industrial centre lockdown is dominating oil sentiment right now. Not quite sure what's going on with oil at the moment. It's really dropped. It's almost like a fake news, isn't it? The oil at the minute. That massive move, and then it's just completely retraced the entire thing. It's just weird. I think obviously demand is shifting dramatically at the moment on this. So I do think we've got more upside on oil. But I think what we'll probably find is oil will just go into an accumulated range higher than it is at the moment. But I'm not sure we're going to get this massive move because there's an awful lot of supply from other places, which is just coming in to replace everything else that's cutting supply. So I think it's going to stabilise itself. I think this was just a very big knee-jerk reaction, but obviously it is because it's retraced. So, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm still thinking longer oil. Definitely, I'm definitely long it. I'm just trying to find an entry on it. Like I said yesterday, if you get the entry right, it's brilliant. If you get it wrong, it just chops you to pieces. Good bearish engulfing going in on the DAX to start with. Nasdaq's coming down as well. Bearish across the board. Some of our friends, the coins, nothing, still coming down. US dollar yen's not really going anywhere, just stabilised. We'll have a flick through all the FX pairs in a minute. Morning, Thammy. Or is it Tammy? Got 30 seconds left on this opening range. Big opening range this morning, which is to be expected on the move we just had. Everybody's adjusting their positions. Okay, there's our opening range in. Big opening range this morning. Let's see if we can just shoot straight out the bottom of there. So yesterday on the DAX, we didn't manage to break these highs. So we are holding lower high. So again today, looking for continuation off of the move from Friday and Thursday. Bearish. Nice bearish wicks yesterday. Got a few Aussie dollar long positions from the EA and a bit of drawdown. We'll have a look at Aussie in a minute. Very whipsawy Excuse me, very whipsawy morning so far. Okay, so looking for a rejection up here. This is the exchange open, which initially just sold off straight away. So looking for these sellers basically to step in and add to position this morning. US dollar's having a bit of a pop. Nice potential W forming on oil. Just taking out those initial lows. What's gold up to this morning? Not a lot. Okay, so we've got some rejection up at the 50 and in that gap. So see if we can hold that. So we've got no directional bias yet on the indices. Initial opening range is just holding, deciding which way we want to go this morning. Just see if there's any more news coming in. Nope. I bet my Aussie US dollar would have worked out. Oh no, it's still sitting up there highs. Let's have a look. While we're waiting for the market to actually decide what it's going to do, let's have a quick whiz through the Aussies. Morning, Gary. So So Aussie basically is it's meant to be a short bias. At the moment, obviously, it's very, very nicely extended. So Aussie CAD, very nicely extended, good long opportunities. We're looking for the 24 bounce. It seems to be bouncing nicely now. I suspect off of this support. Well, it is off this support. So we've got a beautiful double bottom bounce on the Aussie CAD. So nice long. Where are we going? Obviously, measure. Using your fibs. So you can either take that most recent move or look at the full move from last week to today. So you're looking for minimum retracement somewhere around there. Probably more likely up to this resistance here, which is a 50% retracement on the move. So that's what I'd be looking for. Aussie CAD. Very, very nice extended. Aussie Swiss, again, bouncing off of potential double bottom there. That's not really extended anyway. Aussie Yen's not extended. Aussie New Zealand, nice double bottom as well, again there. So just bouncing off support basically, these Aussies at the moment. And Aussie US, nice rejection. So looking for a pullback. So yeah, longs on all the Aussies at the minute. Still undecided, aren't we? Good rejection on the NAS and the S&P. And the FTSE. Looks like we're going down. So 70.59 on the FTSE is the next stop. S&P. It's not that low, is it? No. So I'm still looking for 41.03 on the S&P. Pretty sure that area is going to get tested. We've just done, so we've just made the new low on the DAX, look, on the Nasdaq. So we came off of it. Yes. Oh no, it's this morning. No, sorry, yesterday. Yesterday we came off of it to the pip basically, and we just basically held there. So we've just broken that this morning. So looks like next leg down starting on the Nasdaq, which is good because the Nasdaq will tend to drag the S&P down. And obviously the S&P's got a little bit further to go for a double bottom today. And then obviously longer term, we're looking 41.03 levels. So, and obviously the DAX, we've got the gap fill yet to complete. So they all look nice and bearish today. I would imagine we'll get a bearish open. How far we'll go though, obviously time will tell. US dollars paused for the moment. Not quite sure what to do. We've got tweezer bottoms going in at the moment. 45 minutes left on this candle though, so obviously anything can happen. Right. Okay, so opens looking short, which is good for me anyway. Right, so let's whiz through everything we've got at the moment. So ADR's flat, nothing today yet. 4 hours, obviously US dollar yen, which is why I'm on it. Absolutely shot to bits. We've had no profit take moves. So the slightly worrying thing at the moment is we've just tapped straight into this level here, which is worrying. So this is the last down candle before with a move, and we've just hit it direct. So next stop is here. 200 ADR on today. We're not going to do 200 ADR today unless something dramatic happens. So looking for a decent drop on this one. We've got a nice propulsion move there, potentially to act as a nice support. So yeah, US dollar yen, very extended, been embedded for 3 days. It's finally starting to roll over. People are finally starting to take profit on this move. This will be hopefully the start of the cascade effect. So, you know, the market will see profit taking going on this morning. They will wait to try and get in on a pullback and drop. So the short sellers will start to add now that the market structure is broken, and the longs will start to scale out of their positions, which will start a bigger move. Where it's going to go, nobody knows, but it's going down at the moment. So nice short opportunity there. I've been trying to time the entry on this one for a couple of days, but it's obviously started to kick in now. So if you're not on it, still plenty of time. We've just got the reverse alert on the hourly. We're only 20 minutes into this candle. So there's your reverse alert on M15, which is what I took when it started to trade, when it started to play out. So yeah, looking good. So shorts on that one. US dollar Swiss, same thing. Reverse alert was just kicked in on that one. 4 hour, nicely extended. We got a nice sort of W potentially, M potentially forming there. We've got really good divergence. So you got obviously that move there was bullish on both, and now we've got bearish divergence formed. So looking good. US dollar Swiss for shorts. New Zealand, obviously short-term shorts. Don't US dollar expected to be a continuation long, but for the short term, short. New Zealand dollar, US dollar playing out. So all of these ones which got extended against the US dollar, like the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, these will obviously all start to roll now that the US dollar is rolling over. So nice long opportunity there. Market structure on this one is pretty. I mean, it's obviously in a very strong downtrend at the minute, but it's pretty weak. So you may well find that you don't get much on this one because there's not a massive amount of strength in the New Zealand dollar at the minute. So you might find this just sort of does that, and then when the US dollar powers up again, we get the next move down. So it is a decent opportunity, but you kind of a little late to the boat on this one, really. Actually, it only just alerted this in the Asian session, didn't it? So if you wanted to play this one long, I would kind of sort of look for yesterday's Asian consolidation, really. So it's probably a little bit late to get into this one. It wasn't particularly massively extended anyway. As I said, 25s, 80s is really what I'm looking for. 75, 80s minimum for any of these at the moment. New Zealand dollar CAD, same sort of thing. Nicely extended. We've come off of support beautifully. Just remember, this is where I had the support levels drawn in. We've bounced perfectly off of support. Looking for a pullback into these propulsion moves, i.e. a retest of the reversal alert. And then continuation to the downside. Pound yen. Oh dear. Not very happy, is it? Big reversal going in on the end. Is this yen movement we've got coming through? Yeah, it does look a little bit like we got some yen strength coming through. Not dramatic, but we've got a little bit of yen strength coming through by the looks of things, so that's pretty good. We've been waiting for that. Pound yen, so it's come straight off the 72. Beautiful textbook bearish engulfing going in at the moment. Nicely extended. Not quite as extended as I would want it to be, but yeah, it's a lovely looking short opportunity. Market structure is holding potentially for a short. The pound is still not doing very well at all across the board. So looking for shorts on the pound, regardless of what the COT report says at the moment. The euro and the pound are just not doing well. So that's a nice looking little short there, pound yen. If you wanted to use that with a stop on the 4 hour, I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't come back down and re-challenge these lows. If we get some yen strength coming through with the pound as it is at the moment, this thing's coming down hard. So Yeah, looking like a nice little opportunity. Euro yen preferable though. This is my favourite of the two. Obviously, the euro being on its backside at the moment. The oil news this morning, the gas pipeline stopping this morning is not going to be good news. So yeah, continuation shorts. We've been waiting for some yen strength to come through, and obviously the euro's been beating the yen because we've had nothing on the yen at all. It's been weak as you like. So let me just get my other monitor up, just so I can monitor what's going on with this DAX trade. It's just coming down to the lows on the DAX. Just want to see what happens at the lows. US dollar yen is coming down as well still. So yeah, looking good for a short up here. I don't think there's any reason why we should get massive yen strength, euro strength coming through. We've got Lagarde speaking later on today. There's a possibility that Lagarde could say something at the moment that could shift monetary policy, because obviously there's an awful lot going on in Europe. So we have got an opportunity for her to basically shake the market up a little bit. Anything sort of hawkish could well push the euro, but I think it'll be very short-lived. This thing's looking more and more like it's going to roll over into Poland and other parts of Europe, which is going to be really bad if it does. And the Eurozone economy is going to suffer for it. So I'm still short all euro pairs, regardless of what they're doing. You can scale into these things, and you're going to get paid at some point, because if it doesn't come down, you don't manage to get out on a pullback, it is going to do a big pullback and drop at some point. So I think any of these euros you could be looking for short. So if you get extended to the upside on them, short them. Yen at the moment is obviously dead in the water, but it will gain strength, and as soon as it gains strength, it will stomp all over the euro. So again, lovely looking short. US dollar yen's just hit ADR. Let me just check that one quickly because I'm short. I'm going to close that one out 1%. Cover the second position. Just quickly check what the DAX is doing. Double bottoming. Ugh. Just going to reduce risk on this DAX. Just in case. Right, sorry, where was I? Euro yen, yeah. So Swiss yen, nicely extended. If you've probably missed this one, if you got in this one, we looked at this one yesterday, didn't we? Was very extended, started to roll over. Obviously, it's rolled. So if you were in that one yesterday, we were extended up to 75. So this was a nice opportunity yesterday for an entry, but you've missed it. CAD yen, same thing. Very nice extended. We're above the 80. Members are getting short. It's shorting. We were looking for a potential bounce here. Remember, I highlighted this point yesterday. Obviously, it isn't interested. Absolutely shot to the upside. In fact, I'm short on this. Let me just quickly check my EA, because I am short CAD yen at the minute. Yeah, so that's in profit at the moment. Nicely. Just one on that. So yeah, I've got Aussie dollar CAD long, I've got US dollar Swiss short, and I've got CAD yen short at the moment as well. So that's coming down nicely. Potentially lots of room on this one. We are just moving into this propulsion gap at the minute, but this was the last down candle here. Let me just zoom in so you can actually see it, because it might be a bit difficult to see. This was the last down candle before this dramatic move. So we've broken market structure. We're just about to break market structure. 61.8 retracement is down at this wick. So I think long term, over the next 2 to 3 days, we'll be down there. Aussie dollar, US dollar. So I took the short on this one this morning, just basically hoping that we were going to get some Aussie news to pump it down. It didn't work out. So this one was nicely extended on the 4 hourly. Got lovely wicks to the downside, just starting to push up now. Aussie dollar is difficult to read at the minute. It is a short, and we would expect it to be continuation short based on US dollar strength. But obviously the US dollar is not having a strong morning, so we'll get a pullback on this one. Just got to be careful with this if you're going to take this one, or if you have taken this one long. Just look for the last up candle in the move. This is potential initial resistance. If not, we'll be coming further up. And sort of look for somewhere around about 50 to 61.8 retracement on the move down, but continuation shorts on that one after the pullback. Aussie New Zealand, not really extended. Can't really trade this thing. It's horrible. Horrible, choppy, wicky, nasty mess. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Take your pick. It's perfect as a long now. Go long, and when it gets up here, go short. Really all you can do with that. It's not very big ADR. It's a nice looking trade, but it's not getting particularly extended. I want to see stuff really extended before I get interested. Aussie dollar CAD is really extended. If you got into this one yesterday, well done. Whoops. This one was a nice... Oh, it's only just reversed now. So this morning was the entry. There you go. We did have an entry on this one yesterday as well. In the New York session, so you wouldn't have got a second entry on this, but yeah, nice looking long opportunity there, and it's come straight off of a double or triple bottom, in this case bounce. So looking for this level as a resistance. So lots of opportunities there for mean reversion. Hourlies, same sort of thing. Obviously Aussie dollar, US dollar, very nicely extended. We'll have a look at gold in a sec. Aussie dollar, US dollar, very nicely extended. Beautiful W formed there. Really nice. Yeah, that's looking really good for a long, but be careful on the way up. Euro odd. All these are shorts. All these are really lovely shorts. So reversal alerts on these. On M5, you've just had one this morning on Euro odd, I'd imagine. Yeah. Just got it there. So Euro odd, just alerted short. All these Euros look good. Euro CAD, just got an M15 reversal alert on that one, an M5, and Euro Swiss. This platform is awful. Doesn't update properly with data. Doesn't redraw properly for some reason. It's only this literally 8 cap for some reason. It just doesn't like it. Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand on the hourly, nicely extended. We've got good rejection up there. We've got nice spinning top. We're just about to get a reversal alert on the hourly. So that looks lovely, lovely for a short. Only take one of those, Euro odd or Euro New Zealand. Don't take both because they're both pretty much the same thing. The Aussie and the New Zealand move together. Pound odd, again, with the pounds and the euros at the moment, I would only choose one or the other. The euro and the pound seem to be moving very nicely in tandem at the minute. So you've got the pound odd and the pound New Zealand, the euro odd and the euro New Zealand. Yeah, so I would pick one or the other. I would be much more inclined to take the euros than the pounds, just because they're more extended and we've got a much more bearish bias on the euro than we have on the pound. The pound's got much more chance to recover quickly because of the financial sector than the euro has. So I would be much more inclined to take one of those two than the pounds, but they are all very nicely extended at the minute. And New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So lots of opportunities out there for mean reversion. I haven't quite got the reversal out on the hourly on that, but lovely, lovely bullish move. So just having a little bit of a pullback on that one at the minute. Let's quickly check my DAX. So we are just below yesterday's low at the moment. We've just touched yesterday's low, so this could be a potential rejection point down here. I've got 0.5% on it. What should I do with this? I'm pretty sure we're going to get the gap fill today. I've just got quite a lot of risk on this one because the stop's quite far away, which is slightly worrying. I'm going to leave it and monitor it for a bit. Gold. Let's have a quick look at gold. So gold, everything, gold, oil, everything commodity based. You want to be looking commodities and metals. You want to be looking longs at the moment with what's going on. People are still going to be pulling money out and putting it into tangibles. And the thing with the war is you're going to find we're going to get a very, very volatile, spiky market. You just can't tell when it's going to happen. So it's really just a case of waiting for something to happen in Ukraine to spook the market, and you'll get a spike. At the moment, it seems the same as with oil. We're getting the initial market movements all undone and then waiting. So timing these longs is very, very difficult. We're pulling down to the 24 at the moment, and we're pulling down into an accumulation. So this is potentially a good spot, and it's the first bullish price action we've seen for a while. But this is going to be based off the US dollar weakness that we're seeing at the moment rather than anything to do with gold. So difficult. This is probably not necessarily a fantastic signal, but probably a good spot to start entering longs. If you're going to position trade, yeah, right now is exactly where I would be looking to get in long. I don't trade gold, but if I was trading gold, position trading, that's where I take it from. And then be looking for additional entries down on this accumulation balance down here. So yeah, looking good. Looking very good for longs. I'm going to close one of these out. I don't like it. I'm just going to reduce my risk dramatically on this one. We're just rejecting these lows. So I'm just pulling my risk down a little bit on this, just in case. I still think we're probably going to go down and do it. We are getting a little bit wicky and tired down here. We've had a big, nice drop out the opening range low. So looking for a retest, basically, of the 2050 zone and a retest of the initial opening range for the next leg down. But I'm just going to take that one off. I've just banked off of US dollar yen, so I don't want to have too much risk riding that one down. Anybody got any other pairs or anything they want to look at in specifics this morning? Let me know. But we've covered everything there. Very nice if it can drop from there. FTSE stalling as well, as is the S&P and the NAS. So these two, we've got divergence across the US indices at the moment. US indices are putting in a higher low. And obviously on the DAX, we're putting in a lower low. So we've got divergence across the indices. European markets a lot weaker than all the other markets at the minute. Let's see if we can ride this one down for the gap fill. In fact, I'm going for the lows on that one now. That's 1%. So what I'll do with this one, I'll wait until, assuming we do get down for the gap fill. If we get down into this territory, down at 13,630, I'll basically just break even this trade and then try and ride it down for the to the lows. Let's get on with oil. Got decent rejection of the Asian lows with oil. Nice wicks there. 2 nice long wick candles. And just about to get a reversal alert on M5. Could this be it? Could this be oil's turning point? Hasn't done the gap fill yet though. Just got that little bit further to go to get that gap fill. When that gap is filled, in fact, what I'm going to do, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do it. And I don't normally trade oil. And I said I wouldn't trade oil, but I'm going to do it. Just because it looks like an amazing trade. I'm going to put a limit order down there. The risk on that? It's just over 1% risk on that. Reward is wherever you want it to be, really. If we get that gap fill, I can see it coming up to sort of at least half of this move. If we assume that gap fill happens, 50% retracement, easily achievable, I think, on oil. I did say I wouldn't trade it, didn't I? But I don't listen to my own advice. Anywho. Okay, so good moves this morning on the DAX. We're continuing that down move. Looks like we're going to get the gap fill this morning. Amazing how much oil has dropped so far. Yet the war is still going on. Yeah. Oil's, as I say, I don't trade oil normally. The only reason I've been trying to long oil is because when supply is restricted, obviously stockpiles go down, price tends to just get pushed up. That's just what happens, it's supply and demand. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, it's good because we need oil. But what has happened is a lot of the smaller oil producers have stepped in and just sucked up any supply issues, especially with the US, obviously, because they're a net producer. So they've got, they can produce way more than they need. And there's other countries like Venezuela and others popping up saying, yeah, we can supply too if you need it. And it will obviously be at a slightly higher cost because the cost of shipping and moving it and producing it is more expensive. But it's not going to be sort of the massive barrel prices they were forecasting, 150, 300 maxes, because we've got enough supply. So obviously this was an initial, oh my God, what's going on with oil? Oh yeah, it looks like we'll be okay type movement. And obviously this is where we started. And this is what looks like where we're going to return to. But I think obviously we will still see a hike in oil prices. I don't think it's going to be astronomical, but it is what it is now. So, but I don't trade oil because the oil and gold can be very, very volatile, and obviously on my normal trading strategy is position trading, so you don't want to take positions on highly volatile instruments. You want to take positions on instruments which are much more fluid and put in normal, good, strong market structure. Things that are open to volatility are a lot more difficult to trade, which is why I don't trade them. Things like indices and FX pairs, all very normally very, very normal and stable. Yen's good strength, yeah. It looked like there was a big initial push on the yen. Some of the yen pairs are struggling a little bit more than others. So there is yen strength coming through. We'll see if it can be maintained, but it's not an astronomical like boom, boom, boom move. So you could well get a pullback on these, and obviously we're going to get a pullback. You're going to need continuation strength as well, which we don't know. So just covering this one basically. I've got one on short on the US dollar, and if I get stopped out on it, I get stopped out on it. What have I banked this morning? I banked 1%, so just over one and a quarter ish percent this morning. I got 0.5% open, so. Having a good but slow night. 0.8 up. That's good. Oh, 0.08 up. Yeah, that is slow. Time for a pastrami sandwich break. Oh, that sounds good. It's breakfast time in the UK. Pastrami sandwiches for breakfast are not good. FTSE's putting in a nice market structure. DAX still coming down. All the indices looking heavy. Wicks to the upside on the DAX and the S&P. They're all looking heavy still. Shorts. Look for a neckline break. I don't trade trend lines, but if I was going to trade a trend line, that would be the one. Okay, we're officially into the gap. Going break even on that trade, just to cover it, just in case we get a spike. Got 0.5%. I don't really want to risk any on it, so risk free. It's either going to get there or it's not. US dollar yen's petering out a little bit as well. We've got this big gap up here, which potentially they could look to come up and retest. We've definitely got that one there, which is potentially retestable as well. Want some really decent yen strength to come in and push these guys down, and then they can come back and fill this on FOMC. Okay, oil's starting to push. Do I get in now? Is this it? Is this it? It's not it, is it? I can't make up my mind on this thing. I still think it's got further to go. We'll see. We'll see. Right. Well, I've not really got anything else to cover this morning. I've done my I've done my bank. Tempted to take that off as well. That'll be $1,000 for the morning. Should I let it run? Let's be greedy today, shall we? We've had a good morning. Done over 1%. So let's see if we can milk it and play all these moves out. So this morning, I'm just going to let this one run. So plan is to go for the lows, and obviously the gap fill, depending on how you play your gaps, the gap fill is either going to be there or it's going to be where we closed, which is down here. So potentially if the gap fill works and we bounce, those are the levels we're going to go for. Of course, there's every opportunity to scream through because the Euros had bad news this morning on the gas pipeline being suspended. So it's a little bit spooked this morning, the market. So we could well just see a continuation drop on this thing, this sort of move today, where we just grind for the whole session. So if that's the case, obviously that'd be nice and that'll play out very well. So I'm not planning on taking any additional positions this morning. I will just let this one play out. The US dollar yen I've got on, obviously, as a short. If that stays, it's looking like it's rejecting. We're down at ADR, so it's already hit ADR, so we're going to find rejection down here because it's moved its normal, its normal daily range. So we're going to see the algorithm starting to buy it up. We're in an accumulation here before that move. So this is where we'd expect to see some buying pressure coming in. But there's loads and loads and loads of areas down here, obviously, that it will want to come down and retest at some point as well. So we could well see this one continuing down with some yen strength. So I'm going to hold this, and it's either going to play out. I haven't got a target on this one, as you can see. So it's just set to break even, and I'm going to watch it and see where we go. Main areas I'll be looking for would be 150 ADR, which is towards yesterday's low, which is basically where we opened. Yesterday's low is basically the open, which is Friday's high. So Friday's high, last week's high, basically, is roughly where I would look. In fact, I might put a TP down there in case it screams down there and bounces off. That's a stop loss. Just move that out of the way a minute. So I'm going to go for there, which is about 1.5%. It's more likely to get stopped out than it is to get down to target this one, but we'll see. There's no risk on it. We've already banked on it. So yeah, and I've got an oil pending. And the only reason this oil pending is there, I'm not expecting this to get triggered, but I've got an oil pending. Only reason being, if we get any bad news with the conflict, we'll probably see a spike in oil prices. So this is there literally to gather me up on a long, and then we'll see what happens with it. But I've got a very tight stop on it. I suspect with oil, we're going to come down, as I said, and do the gap fill first down there, which is where I've got a pending. So I've got a limit order down there. So if we spike down, once that gap's hit, I think potentially we could have a decent move there. So that's all I've got at the moment. Obviously the EA is running on H1 M5 and H4 M15 for me at the moment. I've taken a few trades. Got CAD yen running short. I've got US dollar Swiss short and an Aussie dollar CAD. US dollar Swiss. Let me just quick look at that one a minute. Yeah, we're extended. So US dollar Swiss. Got that one on as a short. And H1 M5, nothing on yet. Nothing's triggered on H1 M5 at all. H1 M5, I'm targeting 80s and 20s only. Things have got to get really extended before I'm interested in getting on those. We've got nothing triggered at the minute. So that's it. So being super cautious at the moment. Okay, so that's all I've got for you this morning. That's my plans for this morning. We'll see how we get on. I'll update in the Telegram group. So if you're not in the Telegram group, come and join the Telegram group. You'll get a link to that in a minute. If you've got any questions or anything, I shall be around in there all day. I'll be back this afternoon at 1 o'clock, ready for the New York session. News-wise, make sure you're ready for news today. Keep your eyes on the Euros at 10 o'clock. I don't think that's going to do anything. It doesn't normally. But the Euros had a bit of a spook this morning, so we might finally get a bounce off of that if it comes out as positive. If it comes out as negative, I should imagine we'll hit our TPs. Yeah, it's worth having a look at. Watch the market. 12:30 is the main thing. We've got PPI on the US dollar. So any of these US dollar moves that we're seeing with weakness, if they continue this morning, we could well see the bounce off of PPI. PPI is not normally, as you can see, the black figures. We don't normally get it as expected. Most of the time it's positive or negative, and it does cause a reaction in the market. We don't tend to get a lot of change. We're 0.1 out there, 0.1 out there, 0.2 out there. That was a big one, 0.5%. So if it comes out as big, you quite often get a decent movement in the market. But most of the time it does move the market, but not massively. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's forecast to stay as expected, so you can pretty much guarantee that isn't going to happen. So we should get some movement. Whether it's positive or negative doesn't really impact the market at all. From a directional bias, the market will go where it wants to go. So if we've been pushing down hard today on the US dollar pairs, we'll probably get a little bit of a bounce regardless of what it is. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. At the moment, it seems to have stalled completely. We're not actually going anywhere. As you can see, we're putting in a spinning top and tweezer bottoms, which is bullish. So we'll see on that one. All right, so that's it for this morning. I'll be back at 1 o'clock. We'll have a look at what we've done this morning and get ready for the New York session. But just be aware of the news and any positions that you're in. Obviously, just caretake those ones. So hopefully you have a good morning, nice and profitable. And I will see you this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Have a good one.